Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, June 17th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Again, I'm giving this microphone another try. It seemed like it was better than the week prior. Last week it did have a few staticky sounds, so I'm trying to kind of wedge it in there a little bit more. If that doesn't work, I'm going to return it and go back to the old version. In any event, just so other than programming note, next week I'll be flying back from XMX Seattle Friday morning, so maybe I could try to do it on a plane, but I don't think it's going to upload too fast. So I'll try to figure it out. Maybe I'll do it Thursday night, maybe I'll do it Sunday or Monday, and then I'll post the video next week at a certain period of time. But if I don't post it exactly what I usually do every single week, don't freak out. I just will be on a plane. First up, we definitely saw a lot of chatter from Google, from the SEO community around a possible Google update earlier in the week. That chatter has drastically died down. There's pretty much no chatter anymore. But there definitely was a lot of chatter earlier this week. So if you did see any changes earlier this week, you are not alone. The big ad news this week is that Google officially went from their yellow ad label to the green ad label. So the old is this, the new is this. You can see again, green, yellow, green, yellow. Now we're using green. Google's comment: we regularly test ways to improve the look and feel of our search results page. We've been experimenting with a green search ad label and have decided to roll it out based on positive feedback from users and advertisers. Our goal is to make our results page easy to use and our labeling clear and prominent. That's what Google told us at Search Engine Land. So we're now green. Google said they specifically ignore keywords in the TLD portion of the URL. So specifically, Google said in the .com area, so if you have a new keyword-rich dot something, so .attorney, .seo, .news, .whatever, Google's ignoring that keyword in the actual, in their rankings factors. They actually do index it, but they don't use that for any SEO ranking signal at all. That's what John Mueller said. He said they completely ignore it. But there's plenty of examples of websites that rank extremely well with it, and maybe that's around people linking to it by the domain name with the anchor text. Maybe Google's lying to us. I don't know. But there's plenty of examples of keyword-based TLDs that are ranking very, very well in the search results, extremely well, which is unusual. So Google added to the Search Console this week a feature that lets you compare two variables in search analytics in the Google Search Console. So you can actually see it by clicking on any of these filters, and you'll see this is GIF. So we'll say compare queries, compare pages, compare countries, compare devices, compare search types. And when you click on that, let me go into a little deeper post, you will be able to dig into it. So if you click on search queries, you'll be able to get access that by clicking on query, search analytics, queries, compare queries. And when you do that, this box will pop up. You'll be able to enter the keyword. So if I want to compare search query data for a Google algorithm and Google update, you'll see it actually does a comparison chart showing me in the past 7 days, or whatever time frame this was, I got 26 clicks for Google algorithm and 137 clicks for Google update. And you can see the comparison by comparing two queries. And you can do this across pages, countries, search types, etc., etc. So that's cool. It's a very cool feature. It's nice to compare two specific variables. John Mueller told us this week that Google Panda has not fundamentally changed since it last did a major update. Now that it's a constant, ongoing, rolling update that happens by itself, it has not fundamentally changed. That doesn't mean that Google hasn't tweaked it. John Mueller said, yes, they still make tweaks to it, but it hasn't fundamentally changed. So it's a good Q&A that we have from John Mueller on that. You can definitely take a look at that. I posted it on June 15th. Google again said that crawl spikes do not specifically symbolize that a Google update is going to happen. We covered this back in February. But again, this came up in a Google Hangout a few days ago. But it was interesting because I specifically asked him and said, I specifically said, it could mean that Google's doing an update. He basically implied, yeah, but it's most likely a technical issue and so forth. You definitely want to take a look at this and how the conversation went. But again, I wouldn't look at crawl spikes as saying, oh, Google update is coming. It's not the case. Google said, or John Mueller said again in that hangout, that quality algorithms may decide to wait to make sure you're not going to go ahead and repeat that offense. So if you're doing fake content or whatever it might be, their algorithms around that might just say, hey, I'm going to wait a few months or whatever it is to make sure that you're not repeating that. And Google said also that there are some algorithms that are instant, so as soon as you fix the issue, it's immediately, resolved. But there are some algorithms that want to kind of wait and see how the data stabilizes before it goes ahead and releases you from a algorithmic issue or penalty or whatever. Definitely take a look at that as well. It's better to see it in context by looking at the video. Yesterday, Google's John Mueller and, if I can pronounce his name right, Andrei Lipatsev, whatever. We're in a Google Q&A on duplicate content with the folks from Web Promo, and the question came up. It was all about duplicate content. It's a great video. You should watch it. But Andre basically said, and this is a common thing, SEOs tell people you can't have the same product description as everybody else. So if you're selling an iPad, you can't go ahead and just use the Apple manufacturer's product description because everybody else, all the other 500 websites or 5,000 websites that sell this iPad, all use the same product description. And what Andre said from Google said, rewriting that product description in your own words is not going to give you a win. It's not going to help you beat out Apple or somebody else from ranking. You got to really think about what you can do that's different outside of just rewriting the description to make your site win. And that was a very interesting point. There's lots of interesting points in that hangout. You should definitely watch it when you guys have time. Google also said that, John Mueller said it this morning in the hangout, lots of videos that we're covering, that when you're doing A and B testing, which we said Google does let you do, it's not cloaking and so forth, but if you do it for an extended period of time, the same A and B test, maybe for more than 3 months or something, I don't know, they didn't give a specific time frame, then Google doesn't like to see that because that could be seen as cloaking. You're showing Googlebot different variations and so forth, and the user and so forth, it could confuse Google. So don't let your A/B test extend for too long, he said. But he did just say that our websites that constantly are doing different A/B tests, so that's fine, but don't let one A/B test last forever because it could confuse Google. Gary Ilias, or Ill, how we pronounce it, said Google may... so he basically, what happens is a few days ago, he posted that we want to hear from you if you switch to a CDN, a content delivery network, and your crawl rate has gone up or down or whatever. Let us know because we want to know how Googlebot interacting with it. And somebody asked why. Why does it matter? And because when you switch to a CDN or another server, Googlebot has to relearn how fast or how slow they can crawl that server or that CDN. So that's why. It's pretty interesting. Obviously, we know that, but it's nice to see Google say that again. Again, Gary said if you notice any crawl changes, definitely let them know using the feedback form, which I linked to in this blog post, which will come up in a second. Another thing that John Mueller said this morning in the Hangout is that when manual actions get revoked or get approved for revocation and you're fine, and you get an email notification saying, hey, you're good, you should usually see that in the Google Search Console manual actions viewer within days, like 1 or 2 days. If it's been a week and you still have a manual action, then you probably still have a manual action, a problem, and you should submit another reconsideration request and seek help in the Google Search Console, search forums. This is interesting. So Google posted in the Google Maps forum about field operators going out to your premises, maybe my business, my office, or maybe to your local store or any place, like any retail shop and so forth, and said there are people that are going to come there, use their mobile phone and scan your Wi-Fi any Bluetooth connectivity, satellites, or whatever in the area to get a better on-site scan for Google Maps. And Grace from Google went ahead and posted this. And there are deco listings about this called Google Field Operators. And it basically talks about how you go around the world into specific destinations and try to pick up data so that Google Maps, indoor and outdoor, can actually get more accurate information. Seems pretty interesting. Google's been doing this for a while, but the job description is pretty interesting. Google is removing another Google search filter. This one is only specifically on the Google mobile results, and this is removing the custom date range filter in the mobile results. So you'll still have any time. You can go to it by swiping, do a search in Google Mobile, swipe, click on Search Tools, click on Anytime, and this custom range filter is going away at mobile. This is all staying, but this is going away, where you can actually enter your own custom range. It's going away at mobile. I guess it's hard for a user to enter the custom range, so they're probably getting rid of it on mobile. It still will stay on desktop, they say, but it's going away on mobile. And finally, let's bring back some old times. DMOZ, which actually celebrated their 18th year anniversary a couple weeks ago, has decided because of that, to celebrate, they're actually doing a redesign, which is mobile friendly. So this is the new DMOZ homepage. This is the old one. This is the new one. I'll kind of zoom out. Whoops. So you can see it here, new and old. This is actually mobile responsive friendly. This is not. And that was on their 18th year anniversary, which was a couple weeks ago. In any event, thanks so much for listening to this Search Buzz video recap. I am going to Seattle next week for XMX Advanced. Hope I'll see you there. Again, the video next week will probably be a little bit delayed or early. I'm not sure yet. And thanks so much for listening. Again, this is Barry Schwartz covering the search news over at the Search Engine Roundtable over the past week. Today, again, is June 17th, Friday. And I'll see you guys hopefully sometime next week. Bye.